Hey guys, welcome back to Heiko Shaves. My name is Heiko, and as you can tell, we need to shave. As we have been doing in the last few videos, we have been going through some of the razors that just sit here on furlough, so to speak, unused and unloved, and constantly new razors and different brands and whatnot. And some of those razors that were popular in the beginning of my channel career are still popular to this day, and they're still for sale. And we just recently looked at the Rockwell 6S, which, it's still a great deal for getting virtually 6 different razors if you count all the different base plates that you get and all that. So Rockwell is still around. It's a company from Canada, and they also made or still make a adjustable razor. Which one here is, this one here is the Rockwell T2. The T2, very reminiscent of the Gillette, the Gillette adjustables, like this one here. And pretty much the same kind of concept, twist to open at the top with the doors opening up, and then you can insert a blade and then you tighten it up again. And then right down below it, they have an adjustable dial. Here in this case, actually the marker that points at what kind of setting you're at currently is really hard to see, especially when you have camera lights pointing at you. But yeah, it goes from 1 to a setting 6, and then it actually stops. In a lot of adjustable razors, you can keep kind of cranking, but this literally goes from 1 to 6, and that's it. So very reminiscent of the Fat Boys and the Slims and all that made by Gillette. Kind of same concept with the doors, twist to open, and the adjuster right down below it, but all a little bigger, as you can see. So on a typical Gillette adjustable, you would have the blade tab sticking out and you could scratch yourself. Here on the T2, they cover this all up. So once you put a blade in there, only the cutting edge is exposed, the rest is all covered up. But it does make the razor head more chunky. Then handle, obviously, you know what, let's zoom out a little bit so you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. The handle is a little longer. This one here is the gunmetal gray version. This goes for about $150. You can probably find them cheaper somewhere. I just looked on the Rockwell webpage, and they also have a kind of a matte finish stainless steel version of this, which is then about $250. You might be able to find that on other vendors' web pages cheaper. I didn't look around very much, but yeah, this is the T2, the gunmetal gray chromed finish. And we're going to shave with this today. I've already found a Wilkinson sword blade. This has only been used once. Here on my mirror magnets, where I have like different levels, like 1 use, 2 use, 3 use, and 4 use. And then after the 4th use, it just goes into my waste container over here. So Wilkinson sword, Rockwell T2. Watch check, as some of you guys keep asking me to do. This is my dive watch. It's a ISO certified diver made by Helm, which is a micro brand of sorts. This is titanium. It's called the Vanuatu. And yeah, pretty nice, nice comfortable bracelet. Pretty chunky watch, but I really do like the chunky watches. All right, and what else are we going to use? Here in my VW bus cup, I have a Yachi 24mm Badger, which I have been soaking in warm water for a little while. We're going to use Purasso Green. We're doing everything green, as you can see. The green bus, the green brush. Now the green Purasso Green, Purasso Green pre-shave. Then we're going to use, obviously, Purasso Green soap in my little plastic mug here, the Purasso mug. And then 400 milliliters of Purasso Green goodness aftershave, and we're almost at the end of this bottle here, Purasso Green aftershave bomb. So this is the whole program today. So back to the roots. The T2 was relatively in the beginning of my channel. It was really one of those popular razors when that came out. Oh, Rockwell just made a adjustable razor, and everyone wanted to review it, including me, obviously. And I haven't really given it much love and much time in front of camera, and I haven't used it much either. It is an adjustable, so you can start at a mild setting and then work your way up. As it has become tradition now, I just crank it up to 6 and leave it there. We'll see how aggressive that is. If I start cutting slices of my skin, we're gonna dial it down a little bit, but we're gonna start at 6. As I already mentioned, twist to open, really easy to insert a blade. Really, the design is very reminiscent of the twist to open razors made by Gillette back in the good old days. And then you just tighten it up. Let's see, here in the Gillette case, since the blade gets tensioned by the tightening of the doors, you always want to take it loose a little bit before you make any adjustment changes. I would say, let's verify this here real quick. If the Rockwell actually operates the same way. Yes, it does. So you can see here the lower portion that gets raised and lowered up against the blade by changing of the adjuster. And if you close the door, the blade might be under too much tension. They can actually not really move this here. So it's always a good idea to just open it up a turn or two, so you don't need to open it all the way, but you take some of the tension of the blade before you make any adjustments here on the adjuster. And like I said, so we're at number 6 with a little arrow above it. It's really hard to see, I gotta say. They should have made that a deeper dimple, maybe put a drop of red paint in there or something. But yeah, loaded up Wilkinson sword. So let's put a little bit of warm water in my face, just to pre-treat. And then we are going to grab the pre-shaved Paraso green. As you can see, we're kind of getting to the end of this year as well, sooner or later. Paraso is really one of my all-time favorites. I can never go wrong just grabbing that stuff. It performs well. It smells really amazing. Some people think it's, it's cheap. It's like the supermarket brand from Italy, I think, I'm pretty sure in Italy, in the European market, you can probably buy it everywhere. It's one of those products that's just available, and it's on Amazon and everywhere. But I like the scent, and it has not disappointed me. So then we're gonna grab our little cup here with the Yachi 24mm Badger, and I'm going to squeeze most of the water out of the brush because we wanna start kind of controllable. And then I just go into my mug. We're already spilling water out of it. And this is it has good backbone. It's 24mm knot, which is a little bit on the large side for my taste. I always end up putting lather right up my nose, and I don't like that. So I rather have a 20mm knot and a little bit more control over my lathering here. So we're gonna dip it into my emesis basin. Let's put the cup out of the way before I throw that on the tile floor. And we're loading this up here really nicely. Usually in this Paraso mug here, I just load up because there's soap in there. You can't keep lathering and you're just loading so much soap into the brush. And then I just rather go in my face and do a little bit of face lathering. You can see how bulky this brush is, and it has good backbone. It has turned into a really nice Badger. Initially it was really stinky, and we did a video on anti-stink treatment of Badger brushes. I have a soap from PAA, I believe, if I remember that correctly, that is specifically formulated for brush cleaning and brush anti-stink treatment. That you kind of work in, and then you use a comb, and then you comb through the bristles, and you rinse it out, and you repeat, so to speak, until the Badger stink is gone. Look at that. Oh, it's lovely. Yeah, let's not overdo it. So pre-shave, then the soap, then soap right up the nose. Perfect. And now we're gonna grab the T2, get it wet. Setting 6, as I said. Wilkinson sword is a short blade, has been only used once. And here we go with the grain. Sounds tinny and is not overly aggressive. I get a good amount of blade feel, but it's not scary. So setting 6 on the T2 is everyday territory nowadays for me. I can totally understand if someone's saying, oh, 6 is way too aggressive for me. And yeah, so you can just, take it loose and then grab the little adjuster and turn it to, You know what? I want to look at this one more time. Is this really the same adjustment mechanism as it is on the Gillette? Yeah, it is for sure. So this lower portion gets pushed up further when you are on setting, where is it now, 6? So it raises the blade up above the close comb, so to speak. And that gives it a larger blade gap and therefore more aggression. All right, are we at 6 again? Let's go back to 6, yeah, 6 and then tighten. All right. Some of the older Gillette razors, you always had to, you know, close it up and then give it another quarter turn or so. Of course, I keep the pressure down. I'm not reefing on it. I'm not pushing against my face like a crazy person. It's all about pressure control. So many people are used to, you know, let me grab one here for demonstration purposes, like a typical, you know, cartridge razor, if I can get it out. And since the blade angles, everything is so covered up that people end up like really pushing on their face and scraping along their skin to get a good shaving result, which is, you know, understandable because you want to get it done in the morning. But if you have this here, a huge blade gap, as you can see, you gotta be careful. I think that is the part that took me the longest to really figure out is, first of all, controlling the down pressure and also feeling the blade and figuring out on the fly what the right angle is. So you're not like, okay, I have to do this and then I have to do this and then stay at this perfectly. You just shave, and as you go, you feel how the blade engages your stubbles and adjust accordingly. So I don't really think about that much at all. And I'm just trying to go around the curvature of my face without pushing too hard. Wilkinson sword, one of the sharper blades out there. Really high on my list. I really only have 2, 3, 4 go-to blades. Feather is really high up there. Persona Super is really high. Wilkinson sword. Recently I did the Gillette, was it Super Blue? Something blue. And that actually surprised me. I had never used it before and they were really sharp too. And then the German manufacturer Gillette Rotbart blades, they were also really sharp. I don't know how long they hold up. I oftentimes use a blade once and then hang it here on the magnet and then use it again like a week, 2 later. So there's not really a consistent consecutive shaving where I could say, okay, Wilkinson sword holds up 5 shaves, 6 shaves. I've shaved with Wilkinson often enough now that I can say 4 or 5 shaves and then I chug it. Persona Super the same way, but most other brands I'm just not consistent enough. Yeah, this result is already pretty good. We definitely have taken 80% off. I was pretty stubbly about 2.5, 3 days. And now we're just going to lather up one more time. Look at this full brush here. Might have to add a little bit of water so that we don't have too dry of a lather. And yeah, this brush is super full with soap. So if you have a mug sitting around with a puck of soap in the bottom of it, you can really only load up and then transfer it over into your face and then do the lather really there. All right, let's grab some water. Second pass is always going to feel a little milder suddenly because the stubbles are gone mostly. No, that's good. That's good enough. All right. Still sitting 6, and we're just going to continue with a across the grain. So first pass was with the grain and then against the grain down here. Now we're going to do across the grain and with the grain on my neck. And here we go. Let's maybe zoom in a little bit now. And same over here. I guess I forgot my lip, huh? Okay, let's do this here. Yeah, and very good. Dripping a little bit on my shirt, but that's okay. This is a 2-pass BBS. So now, just out of curiosity, I want to put this to setting 1. If I remember this correctly, because I was a much milder shaver back then, I wanted mild razors. So I would start at setting 1, and I think the blade is so covered up now. Yeah, it's setting 1. I want to say the T2 barely shaves. And then you have to go to, let's see, a 2. Let's get it wet. Yeah, setting 2 is still too mild for me. If I remember correctly, in my first video with this, even in the beginning of my shaving career here, I would start out at like 3. And I just remembered another kind of a downside of this really enclosed head. If you dip this into water and then pull it out and start shaving, there's water dripping out everywhere. It's just too closed. It's nice that they cover up the ends, but you also have a lot of distance between the end of the razor and the end of the cutting edge. And there is a lot of hollow space in there where water just sits in there. And yeah, a little on the bulky side, but I gotta say, you know, at setting 6, you get a BBS or near BBS, let's say, in a hurry. Maybe I have a little bit irritation down here. This is always my weakest section here. My stubbles are just, I don't know, at a weird angle and my skin doesn't like it. But up here, there is barely anything left. And we are not going to do a 3rd pass, or else I'm going to have ingrown hair. But I would say $150 adjustable razor, $150 is a pretty expensive proposition, but it is a well-made razor, I gotta say. And you know, we all have different tastes. Some people like it bulky, people like the extra enclosure. I always appreciate the covered up blade tabs, but most razors manage to not have extra material on the outside, but they rather just make the cover long enough to cover up the blade tabs just so, and not extra here on the outside. But yeah, overall, really good result. You can always find a way to get under your nose, you know. Let's rinse off. All right, rinsed off really nicely. And here comes the alum block again for you guys. Yeah, a little bit of some biting down here for sure. I nicked myself right there. Yeah, a little bit. Give it a couple seconds to soak in and, you know, close up the little micro bleeders that you might have, and then rinse it off again. All right. Yeah, so T2, and there is also, as I mentioned, the stainless steel version. I've never used it. I don't know if, since the manufacturing process of a stamped / machined / cast zinc alloy razor or brass is probably different from the stainless steel version. I'm assuming the stainless steel could have a slightly different geometry and feel slightly different. And then also the surface texture is going to be different because they only sell it as a matte stainless steel for $249 on the Rockwell webpage. I'll put a link down below. You can check it out. If I find any affiliate links to those razors, I will place them there as well. That is the easiest way for you guys to support my efforts here. Buy something with an affiliate link and I get a little bit of kickback from, usually it's Amazon. I really only have one active affiliate account with Amazon. And yeah, I appreciate it. And I will turn that around and immediately buy some more razors and soaps and stuff. So, skin is dry. Let's grab our big bottle here, the Big Bertha, 400 milliliters, 13.5 fluid ounces. Now, when you first use alum and already get the burning sensation, then usually the burning sensation from an alcohol-based aftershave like this one here is a little bit less because the sucking together already happened. And then, very nice. I just like the scent, the composition, the mentholation, the coldness that it provides. I like it. I just like it. It's, it's been with me since the beginning of this channel. I have found other great soaps and aftershaves that definitely are of maybe higher quality, better lather, better ingredient lists. This is a commercial product that probably has a massive long ingredient list with stuff that shouldn't be in there. Unfortunately, they don't write it on the bottle, but I just like it. All right, and some aftershave balm to finish it off. Very, very good. So yeah, revisiting old razors or razors that you haven't used in a while. The Rockwell T2 brought a lot of joy. We finished up a good shave. I'm clean in my face and only nicked myself in a couple spots. Yeah, Wilkinson sword blades. I'll put a link for those down below. You should definitely pick some up. They're made in Germany. Wilkinson sword is traditionally not a German company, but you know how that always goes. One company buys the other. So then suddenly they have a manufacturing capacity in Germany and Wilkinson starts making their razor blades in Germany, in Solingen. And they are actually still pretty affordable. You can get a stick of 100 on Amazon. Each blade is like, no, I'm just speaking from memory, 15, 17 cents or whatever. So check those products out. Check out Paraso Green. If you have never tried it, just get yourself a little sample kit and give it a whirl. Yeah, very good. I'm happy. Skin is happy. And good razor revisit, in the footsteps, I should say. In the footsteps of the Gillette Slim Adjustable here. Very similar, just a little bit more petite, the whole thing. I guess back in the good old days, razors were just a little slimmer and a little smaller. We haven't shaved with this one in a long while either. Maybe we'll do that sometime soon. All right, guys, join the channel, subscribe. If you like, give me a thumbs up. That helps the channel and the algorithm and all that. If you have any questions, leave it down below in the comment section. If you have suggestions for products, if you have any complaints, please put it down below. Just try to stay civil, no name calling on Heiko's channel, please. Alrighty, guys, I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.